Central Asia title at welterweight, and this is Timmy BAIMOLDA boxing out of Kazakhstan. He's from Astana. 10 fights, 10 wins, 6 of them by stoppage. He's been a man on his travels in his pro career so far. Made his pro debut in Russia, then had 3 fights in Nigeria, then one in Ghana, and his last 5 have been in Thailand. He's not been in against the stiffest opposition. I think that's a fair comment to make. And this year he boxed in January, February and March, hasn't been in action since then, so a lively start to the year. A second round stoppage, a win over 6 rounds, and then another second round win in March in Bangkok against a fighter with a record of 1 win and 2 defeats. Can be difficult to know what you'll get from somebody like that. You don't want to read too much into that record. It's gone his way so far, but that doesn't mean he's not capable of making the step up.
Его соперник, который прямо сейчас займет золотой угол ринга. Он представляет Уфу, Башкортостан, Россия, Danis GABDRAFIKOV.
He's a hometown guy, GABDRAFIKOV. He's from Ufa. Undefeated so far. Boxing IBA.PRO here in Ufa last August against Michel Batumur, a win on points. And then the same thing on home turf last October. So they get him out whenever there's a card here because he's a decent ticket seller. Went 8 rounds in April against Alexander Koklov. And always a bit of pressure on you when you're literally the hometown guy. People want to see the win, but they want to see a good performance as well. They want to be entertained. And there is a minor ranking belt on the line here, which wouldn't necessarily see you get a ranking. I'd be surprised if it did, but it at least puts you in the thoughts of the sanctioning body.
Итак, дамы и господа, нас ожидают 10 раундов бокса за титул чемпиона WBA Central в полусреднем весе. Супервайзер поединка Сергей Хурсанов, Россия. Боковые судьи Дмитрий Болдырев, Россия, Энрико Личини, Италия и Мишель Максюта, Бельгия. Рефери в ринге Сергей Летунов, Россия. Итак, представляю соперников и первым бойца в черном углу. Ему 25 лет, рост 180 сантиметров, официальный вес 66,1 килограмма. Его безупречный рекорд насчитывает 10 боев, 10 побед, 6 из них одержаны нокаутом. Из Астаны, Казахстан, по прозвищу джентльмен Тemirzhan BAIMOLDA. Его сопернику в золотом углу 26 лет. Его рост 170 сантиметров, вес также 66,1 килограмма. Он трехкратный чемпион Приволжского федерального округа, победитель Спартакиады России с профессиональным рекордом 4 боя, 4 победы, в том числе 1 нокаутом. Из Уфы, Башкортостан, Danis GABDRAFIKOV.
Джентльмены, у вас чемпионский бой. Соблюдайте правила, выполняйте мои команды, в любой ситуации защищайте себя. Желаю успеха, пожмите руки, пора начинать. По углам.
Sergey Letunov, our referee, and this is an interesting matchup because we've got 2 undefeated fighters here. Close together in terms of age as well, boxing in this welterweight division, that WBA Asia Central title on the line. Neither one has been tested particularly in their career up until this point. And you've got a southpaw in GABDRAFIKOV and an orthodox fighter in BAIMOLDA. BAIMOLDA, as I said, he's been all over the place applying his trade as a pro fighter up until this point. He only knows winning, and generally inside the distance. So I think we'll discover quite a lot about probably both of these two throughout the course of this fight. I certainly hope so anyway.
The onus is on BAIMOLDA here to really push the action, because GABDRAFIKOV is happy on the back foot. He knows the ring like the back of his hand. You'll rarely find him touching the ropes unless he wants to, unless you really put him under high levels of pressure. You'll find him about as close as 2 steps away from the ropes before he finds a way out. So it's going to be on BAIMOLDA to try and force an error, force him into a corner and land heavy shots, because GABDRAFIKOV knows the ring.
He is very comfortable, isn't he? As you say, he's got that nice wide stance, but he uses those feet well. He can pull that weight all the way onto the back foot. He's got his front foot on you, so it makes him look like he's in range, and he let go with the right hand there by BAIMOLDA. But then he'll just pull that weight back, and all of a sudden he seems like an awfully long way away. Just kind of paws with that lead hand, doesn't look to do too much with it a lot of the time, other than just measure the distance. And you've got to try, as you said, to knock him out of that comfort zone. You have to be aggressive, but you've got to be clever with it, because if you come over the top of that front foot, that's exactly what he's looking to do. He'll just pull back and he'll pick you off all night long.
And he'll do it he'll keep that movement for the full distance of the fight as well too. You'll find him often at high altitudes. He's a keen skier as well, so he's no stranger to the high peaks. He's trying to climb the ladder of the sport. And no doubt you'll see him use his feet throughout the fight.
Stooping in and looking for that right hand, did roll away after it by BAIMOLDA, and then just gets caught in that mid distance. Little feint with the front foot there from GABDRAFIKOV, and BAIMOLDA walks forward quite open there. It's not an easy job this for him. It's a tricky kind of a mission.
He's doing all the right things early at the gates here. He's moving, he's not making himself a static target, upper body movement as well, not making himself easy to pin down. So just as much about making it hard for GABDRAFIKOV as it is for GABDRAFIKOV for BAIMOLDA.
He's smooth, isn't he, GABDRAFIKOV? It's good to watch, because you look at that kind of economy. He's just got the air of a man who's really at home in that ring, and that's always impressive. He's been at this a long, long time. Just got caught at the very end of a right hand there from BAIMOLDA.
That's where BAIMOLDA can find his success, by just being unorthodox, not being easy to telegraph, because that's food and drink for someone of GABDRAFIKOV's caliber. It's about those moments. It's about feinting and then setting the shots off of that and just trying to catch him out, trying to do something a little bit different that he hasn't seen before, because he's seen a lot of styles, he's seen a lot of fighters come through, and he's well versed to get out of the way of range and then throw in his own shots.
And that second replay highlighted the problem that the BAIMOLDA's got, because it's a sport of fractions, this, and he was just short with the right hand. His weight came forward a little bit, and as he was made to fall slightly short, he got clipped with a couple of punches, and that's exactly what GABDRAFIKOV is looking to do to you.
Battle of the feet as well here too. Both the men are trying to keep their lead foot on the outside of the other one to get into range and then land something on the inside.
Well, the referee, I think, is going to count for this. He slaps his gloves together there, GABDRAFIKOV. It was difficult to see exactly what was landed there. There was certainly a balance issue there with BAIMOLDA. It's a case really of whether a punch caused him to lose his balance and go down, in which case it is a legitimate knockdown, or whether it was the loss of balance that came first. I'm sure we'll see a replay at some point. He doesn't really seem hurt, but GABDRAFIKOV, I think, has other ideas, because he's backing him up into that neutral corner and really looking to let those hands go and work him over, and there's nothing coming back here from BAIMOLDA, and there needs to be soon, or the referee will have a good look at this, because that head is getting bounced around. He goes down to the body, again back up top, and these are punishing, bludgeoning shots, and the referee has decided that he's seen enough, and that is a very impressive finish from GABDRAFIKOV. We'll get another look at the knockdown, but there must have been something there that really took something away from BAIMOLDA. I did wonder originally whether it was just balance, but he latched onto it. The fighter knows, don't they, when they're in there, they can smell it if somebody's been a little bit hurt, and then the accuracy and the savagery really of the follow-up was relentless, and BAIMOLDA just couldn't do anything other than tuck up. The referee, I think, gave him as much of a chance as he was required to, and then stop the fight.
Yeah, our view was slightly obscured by the referee and the angle as well. There could have been a short little left hand in there before BAIMOLDA hit the canvas, but until we get the replay, we'll see that here now. Actually, it's the replay of the finish. But this was really impressive, because from a technical fighter who we're thinking might take this to the distance and find his shots and a pot shot through, and once he had him on the hook, the referee could have stepped in at any point earlier than this, but it was real good variety of punches, left hooks and right hooks to the body, and up at the top as well too, and nothing coming back from BAIMOLDA. So the stoppage was fair, could have been a little bit earlier, and GABDRAFIKOV gets his hand raised.
As soon as he managed to push it back to the ropes, just set his feet, found that distance, and you saw the punches just crashing through, particularly a left cross that really rattled the jaw there of BAIMOLDA. And this was a step up for him, because, as I mentioned, he put together a good record, 10 fights, 10 wins, 6 by way of stoppage. He hadn't actually been in with anyone with a winning record at that point, but boxing is about trying to make that step up, and he was doing okay up until that point, but then it all went sideways very, very quickly.
That's what fighters of GABDRAFIKOV's skill can do. They can just punish you within an instant. If you're not on it, if you leave an opening, they'll take it. It's good to see that someone of his technical capability has got that killer instinct as well, and then to push and affect that stoppage there. So very impressive from GABDRAFIKOV.
They need to try and step him up a bit now.
Рефери Сергей Летунов остановил поединок на отметке 1 минута и 23 секунды второго раунда. Техническим нокаутом победу одержал и стал чемпионом WBA Central в полусреднем весе из Уфы, Башкортостан, Данис GABDRAFIKOV.
GABDRAFIKOV with his hand raised, and there goes that belt just strapped around his waist, the WBA Asia Central title.
There's not a bead of sweat on him.
No, there isn't. There isn't. That was impressive. He had a look in that opening round, and then in the second round really went to work.
It was just a threat that there might have been a different opponent for this fight in the form of Dilshat Nurim, who's got a bit of a power, a bit of pop. You want to see someone and he can bounce, he's light on his feet as well too, so maybe that might be something they revisit in the future, because someone who can give him something to think about, pose a few problems, and you might see the best of him. We saw a real good version of him tonight, but he got his opponent out there, which is exactly what he should do. But for fighters of his ilk, you want to see them push back, you want to see them try to figure something out, and then you see the best of them.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely what they need to do with him now, isn't it? And as you say, you're right, they were looking for that other opponent, the original opponent that we learnt about in the build-up to the fight, and I think that certainly would have been the idea, that Narim would have been capable of pushing him a bit more. BAIMOLDA at a kind of short notice, you get somebody who's 10-0 with 6 stoppages, it looks good on paper, it's the next best thing you could do really. You just need to find someone who's happy to take the fight, and this was quite a rude awakening for him, somebody who came with the confidence of an unbeaten fighter. And he sells some tickets in this hometown in Ufa as well, GABDRAFIKOV, and that for any promoter is music to their ears, isn't it? You want somebody who you can build locally, because that's the fan base that really stays with you, and that in many ways is what IBA.PRO is about, giving these fighters a chance to showcase themselves where they're from.
А так все отлично. Спасибо моей команде, моему тренеру Карабановой Марии Юрьевне, спасибо правительству Республики Башкортостан, Андрею Геннадьевичу Назарову, Руслану Владимировичу Хабибову, Радию Фаридовичу, нашему президенту. Башкортостан, Алга!
Совсем недавно мы видели тебя на чемпионате России в Екатеринбурге. Ты показал классный бокс по ходу турнира, но остановился буквально в шаге от медали. И как будто бы сегодня всю эту злость ты выплеснул на этого парня из Казахстана.
Да, знаете, на чемпионате страны у меня каждый год одно и то же, но я думаю, мы свое еще возьмем. Хотел еще сказать, друзья, у меня 6 сентября родилась дочь. Давайте поаплодируем этому. Спасибо. А так, сейчас мне нужно стараться вдвое-втрое больше. И мы еще свое заберем.
Дамы и господа, Данис Габдрафиков, новый чемпион WBA Central в полусреднем весе.
Got to give him the credit as well too. It wasn't a fall from BAIMOLDA. It was a right hook that landed, just a little step back and then came back in with a short little right hook,